being there.
1,000%, man.
Yeah.
And also, like, who you travel with as well makes a massive
Ooh,
massive part in the experience. Like,
yeah, that's why we've never traveled together. But
thank you guys for listening. This has been the Second Unit Podcast episode. I mean,
that's our intro.
Happen,
We've got our intro, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Let's go.
It took us almost an hour, but we've got our intro.
Far out. There it is.
You are listening to the Second Unit Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again. This is the episode 7 of the Second Unit Podcast. This is getting insane and out of control now. The level of work that we do on this podcast, just week after week, just bringing you guys content on content. As you can see, today we only have Jared and me left behind because Jack had better things to do.
This podcast life is brutal, as you can see. We didn't know if we'd make it, and we've already lost one member. So it's only downhill from here.
It's I don't know. I mean, I thought it would happen early, but I'm glad that we made it this far. That's all I can say. Episode 7, at least it's you and me. I hope by next week it doesn't go down to like one person. The whole podcast.
What would that even look like? I couldn't imagine that. Bro, you and I have both tried like streaming on Twitch, which is kind of just yourself, right? Like, obviously you have your watchers, but I mean, let's be honest, like
what, 10 watchers on a good day?
Dude, 10's amazing. Most of the time it's 1, right? And it's yourself with a tab open on Chrome. So all that to be said, we know how fucking hard it is to try and like keep a conversation going with just yourself.
Yeah.
A solo podcast, like
it's
wow.
I don't know how that's gonna go. I guess it's probably gonna be like a news readout, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like you have points that you can talk about and then just go, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with Trump, man? And then you just keep flowing through that. But anyways, it's good that we've got you, Jared. Thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me too.
And if you're tuning in for the first time, you can see I have not introduced myself yet. But my name is Kumar. I am one of the hosts, and we've got Jared with me.
Hi, I am also one of the second uniters.
Second unit OG host, and we're missing Jack, but we're not going to talk about it. We will skip to our first topic of discussion.
Hey, what do we call people who watch our podcast? Like, what's our what are our followers called? What are you called? Comment down below your favorite name that you want.
Like, do you want to be called the Second Unit Army, or do you want to be called the Second Unit? Oh, no! Hit me, Jared. What is it?
Runners.
Oh,
let's fucking go! There it is.
Okay,
shout out to the runners. All right, let's go.
Runners
Thank you for watching, runners.
That's it. That was this episode 7. No. So now all the subscribers and all the followers on Instagram and everywhere who are watching us right now, you are the runners of Second Unit. You are the reason Second Unit exists. Thank you so much for existing.
The show can't go on without the runners. Hey?
And yeah, dude, 100%. And big shout out to all the runners out there running the sets. In Hollywood, Bollywood, and even in Australia. Thank you so much, runners. Well, on that note, let's get into the week gone by. So, speaking of runners, I was not a runner, but I was a second AC, which is a second assistant to the camera on a short film last weekend, and that's why I couldn't make it to the Instagram live. With Cleo, which if you guys haven't watched the previous episode, it was with Cleo Baldwin, one of our close mates from Afters, and she did an Instagram live with Jared from the Second Unit account. But yeah, how would how would I have described the experience on set? I'd probably just say it was tiring. It was, really painful, but it was amazing, and it was cool to work with people again after lockdown.
Well, yeah, it has been a while between drinks for all of us and for yourself, obviously. When was the last time you were on set or you worked on a piece of content? Let's think outside of like your uni assessments. The last time you did a piece of content prior to the weekend.
Yeah, I think the last time I was out on a set was probably on Mixed, actually.
On Mixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Peace Out? That was before.
Peace Out, yeah. So Peace Out was before anything from Afters last semester.
Yep.
So I think the last thing that I was doing was I was assisting Jack on the Girl Dog documentary, which obviously, if you want to know more about, check out the previous episode. It was directed by Cleo Baldwin. So I was assisting Jack, and then I would come from Studio 5 to Studio 4, where you guys were shooting Mixed, which is a documentary which Jared shot, and I edited with Michaela. Michaela was the director. So yeah, I would go from Studio 5 to Studio 4, like after wrap, and we would look at the rushes, and we'd look at obviously the animation that you guys were doing, and we'd try to put it together. I think that was the last big one.
So that was back in May-ish, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, put that in perspective. What are we in now? October.
June. Wait, wasn't it June?
Look, around that time, early June if it was. Yeah, so June to October, what have we been doing? We've been twiddling our thumbs,
Yeah, man. Just playing games.
We have been doing that. That's
watching
guilty.
Movies.
Guilty as charged. So
it was actually June 24th. That was the last ever film set that I was on. June 24th.
Okay, so around like 3-ish months, we'll say. Yeah. So it was a bit of a shock, you think, coming back in and getting into the swing of things. Did it take you like a day, or did it take you a couple of hours to kind of, get familiar with being on set again? And what happened?
I think it wasn't a shock from my brain, but it was a shock from my body, because the amount of pain that you go through in a day filming, just carrying stuff around,
just the labor of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was just long hours, which was just a little shock from my body, and that's why when I came back home after the first day, I was just tired as hell, and I just wanted to just go to bed. But I'm pretty sure the stamina was found again by the body, so I came back strong on the second day, and then the third and the fourth I was finally back to normal. So it didn't matter what time I was going to bed or whatnot. As long as I got 6 hours of sleep, I was happy to jump back on the set. Yeah, so that must have been my biggest shock. Otherwise, other than that, the set duties and the set, I don't know, etiquettes, if you want to call that, that was at some level, like, it was just second nature, I guess, because we've been on so many productions, so it wasn't too bad. I had some amazing people, like the first AC that I worked with, who was, guiding me, and who was like leading me into doing the task of the day. She had a pretty good system, so as long as I got around that system, I was like, I was just flying, like, it wasn't like something that I had to think about, but it was a lot to work with. So yeah.
So have you second AC'd before?
A couple, actually I have multiple times. The first ever film job that I had, Jared, was the second AC, and this was an year, I think this was in 2019, and this is when I didn't even know I was going to come to AFRIS, because I hadn't applied by then. So this was in August 2019, and I got a job as a second AC. I was just assisting a couple of AFTRS grads who were making a short film back in Wagga Wagga, where my parents live, and it was so much fun. I would say that was the day when I told my dad, I was like, you know what, I know I've done ANU, like I'm doing ANU degree, I know I'm doing IT degree, but this is what I want to do. So yeah,
huge moment,
a big moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've assisted plenty of time as well. You've second AC'd and first AC'd.
Yeah, a couple of times. Definitely not like. I wouldn't say I'm ever comfortable with any particular role or any particular job, because I think it differs so much, like from project to project, and same with like your level of responsibility. So say you and I have both second AC'd. Well, that looks very different from what you did on the weekend, which to my understanding was very involved and probably like, quite an involved second AC job, as opposed to another shoot where say I second AC'd, but I wasn't responsible for camera sheets. My responsibilities were clapping, were generally doing second AC sort of stuff, like helping out with equipment, managing batteries, etc. But I didn't have that responsibility. So it's interesting. I mean, and obviously that applies to all sorts of roles. Even your top level ones, like if you're a director of photography, a cinematographer. Well, that's going to look very different if I'm shooting a feature-length film or if I'm shooting a pedigreed dog food commercial. As far as my responsibilities or my whatever else. So but ACing is definitely a very demanding role from my limited experience. I would say there's a lot that you are kind of responsible for, and in supporting your head of department.
Mad respect to the ACs that I've worked with. They I look up to all of them that I've assisted, because I was the second AC. So there's the DOP usually, who's like the head of department of the camera stuff, and then the DOP has a gaffer and a grip. The gaffer takes care of all the lighting stuff, and then the grip takes care of all the camera movements. So if like the camera is moving, I don't know, on a crane, on a dolly or whatever, and then the DOP actually has assistants like the first AC and the second AC. The first AC is pretty much the person to go to for most of the questions, like what lens are we on, what is the movement like, and like what's the focus. They're also pulling focus. So the first AC, man, I can't even imagine being in that head, just like being in that zone, just like I think thinking of 17 things at the same time. How can I make this process a bit more efficient for the HOD? That's what they do pretty much. Yeah. So it's definitely hella demanding, and just the amount of attention to detail that you need to have so that you are just making the job of the DOP much easier. It's just insane. So mad respect. Shout out to the ACs that I've worked with. Steph Verdek, she's a real G. She's also a firefighter. So again, mad respect. Shout out to Molly Sutherland that I worked with over the last weekend. She's also a real G. She's got a pretty amazing system, probably the most amazing system that I've ever worked on. So yeah, these are the people you want around you, man. These are the people that make sure crazy things can be pulled off on set. Yeah.
No, it's so important, the people you work with as much as the tools you work with. But speaking of tools, I think that's a big revelation as well. Is as an AC, what your toolkit consists of and how extensive it is. As far as lots of other roles on set go as well. There's so many little gadgets and piece of equipment, tape. Everything that you need to kind of have to do your job properly. Your PPE. There's lots to talk about.
There's it's just the thing, and this is something Molly told me as well, where she was like, the only issue is you don't realize you need it until you need it, and so that's why her car is full, because she's got all the tools from all the experience that she's gotten, where she knows that there may be a moment where we need a 1/4-inch bolt, or there may be a moment where I don't know, we need a tape measure, or it may not be necessary at this time, but there may be a moment. So it's just the AC carries a lot of tools and a lot of nuts and bolts and lots of ratchet straps and just safety equipment and whatnot, which come in use. And it was a big revelation for me as well, where I was just like, wow, man, it'll take me a minute to actually save up to buy all of that equipment
and then house it and maintain it and
And
everything
then,
else that comes with that level of
yeah.
ownership. Hey, when you rock up on set, what does that look like? What are you wearing?
Just as in like my crew t-shirt and like the crew wear.
Yeah. Do you have like a uniform that like if you're going to AC on a shoot, like what are
Yeah.
you pulling out the night before to put on?
I feel like honestly, it depends. I know like everyone encourages people to wear black stuff,
Mm,
just dark stuff, just because you're working with lights on a film shoot, and the lighter colors you wear, or like the colored stuff that you wear, they will reflect colored light.
spill out. Yep.
Yeah, which is not good, because that just messes up the whole atmosphere, the tone, whatever you want to create.
Hmm.
Effectively, you just want to have as much control as possible. So black t-shirts are the best for that.
Definitely. I think also colored t-shirts and graphics and stuff can be like a little bit distracting for actors and for crew as well. If
Sure.
you're trying to give a performance and past the camera you see a guy in a bright orange shirt with a skull on it or something,
Mm.
it's these little things I think that probably are the reasons why today it's encouraged that we wear dark clothes on set and certain
Mm.
things. But I mean, beyond just the colors of what you wear, I mean, we were talking about this before, like how sore you were coming off that shoot,
Mm.
and how uncomfortable some of these laborious days can be. So it's pretty important, I'd imagine, to feel comfortable with what you're wearing, because
Yeah.
what's the saying, like you look good, work good, like something like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. You want to be in a comfortable attire. You're going through tight spaces. You're picking up stuff. You're bending down. You don't you want to be wearing stuff. Also, you don't want to be wearing stuff which gets you hot really quickly, because you may be indoors, and it's lots of lights in the environment. So I probably prefer a good pair of shorts, which
Mm,
are stretchable, so that I can go in.
like with pockets, some
Yeah,
cargo sort of thing
tons of
going on.
pockets, hundred
Yep.
percent. And one thing which definitely I would recommend everyone who want to AC is get some sort of pouch, or like an AC kit that you can have on you,
Mm,
right? You can have a chest vest, or like
a belt or a vest. Yeah. Right.
yeah, something like that. And you just keep like essential stuff, like your pens, your markers, some knife, Leatherman, and like microfiber cloth in case you need. That just comes in really handy. Tape, yeah. So
Yep.
I would probably say a good comfortable t-shirt, shorts on a good day. If it's raining or whatnot, just get full pants on, and decent shoes, man. Hiking boots, nothing else.
I think that extends to just life in general. I would say, like, invest in your footwear, because I think, like, honestly, like, if you've got a good pair of shoes on, like, you're looking after your whole body, because like it goes from your feet to your legs to your back to your neck, all starting from your feet, from your
Feet.
shoes. So that's something I wish I had have actually picked up on earlier in life, like even before working on film sets, just in general, like working in hospitality or working, in wherever, or
Hmm.
or hiking. Just get a good pair of shoes. That's probably the best place you can spend your money, rather than like
Mm.
what else you might spend it on. Like you might spend it on a good watch or a jacket, or
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
It's definitely worth it, and I think a good pair of shoes will will be the make or break for you to continue, um, you know, going through that painstaking process for like the whole month.
Mm.
So yeah, go for it. So, well, I just want to touch on something you mentioned, which is working in hospitality. So you've been back in workforce. You back in hospitality. How's that been like since the lockdowns opened up? If you can
Yeah,
hear me
it's
from
yeah,
that
I can hear you.
distance.
Yeah, man. It's a double-edged sword kind of thing. Hospitality kind of has a reputation for being quite an intense place to work, and stressful in certain ways, both from the your clientele, but also from your colleagues. And I think it's a kind of industry, from my opinion, that like differs so much from place to place,
Mm,
which is not too dissimilar to filmmaking and the film industry. Honestly, like from set to set, I think who you're working with and what you're doing can like make your enjoyment differ
Yeah, the
greatly.
whole experience, impacts the whole
Absolutely,
experience.
definitely. So no, it's been good. It's been good having a little bit of work. Coming back into hospitality, but yeah, like
What
it's
do you
not
do?
been
So
great.
are you the dishwasher, or like, no, wait, what is your role?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm working in a pub as a bar back / glassy primarily, which is kind of like your support person to the bartenders. So if you think of like in a kitchen, I'm actually not sure what the proper rule is, but say you have the head chef and then they have a sous chef, who's
Hmm.
maybe like the assistant to the chef.
Oh, so like an AC.
I'm the AC of the bar
Let's
world.
go.
Oh, bro,
Well
let's
done.
pat on the back there. Well done.
Well
Yeah,
done to
so
both of us.
I'm looking after the glassware. I'm stocking the bar, making sure that the bartenders have all the tools they need and all the spirits,
Mm,
all the everything else. And then obviously I jump on the bar when it's quiet, or if
mm,
they need, or if it's busy and they need extra hands on. It's kind of the role. And this is the first time I've worked in that sort of an environment. Previously, my hospitality experience has been in events, but also my first job was at McDonald's, which, I mean, that's a whole can of worms for another time to unpack on its own.
yeah,
But yeah,
mine was
hospitality is.
Subway.
Oh, there you
Subway
go.
was
Nice,
fun.
nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure you've got similar experiences where it's like, yeah, it's so demanding and can be really fun, but also, depending on the day and depending on the people you're working with, your
Mm.
enjoyment can differ greatly.
I totally agree with that. Also, I feel like, surprisingly, at least in my experience, hospitality has been quite rewarding.
Mm,
It's been like, yeah, dude, like when I was at Subway, just like getting up early, making those breads, you know,
mm,
getting everything set up. Like, I don't know if you've been to Subway, but like everything over there is fresh, right? So like
mm,
everything's done the day, so you
yeah,
get it freshly made. I mean, it's obviously it's a bit frozen, but then you do all the prep on the day. So it's
yeah,
just been and getting things around. And also, I feel like I'm a person who likes to do things, and I'm a doer. Like likes to do thing. I like to do
yeah,
things with my hands.
yeah,
So yeah, it was quite rewarding to just serve people. But given you do have your tough days, and there's no getting around that when an old man rocks up and just goes, "There's too much salt in my wrap," and then just throws it away on the counter and then just leaves, and you're like, okay, cool, I'll take that on the
yeah.
chin.
I'll deal with
Move
that.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the next thing as well. Like with this kind of uh, environment, is that I'm not just dealing with like odd customer service, we'll call it, and odd individuals.
Hmm.
They're also drunk. They're
Mm.
also drinking, so that adds a whole another level of like dealing with people as well. I mean, touch wood. Thankfully, I haven't had any major experiences in the first couple of weeks, which has been good. But like, there's been little times where you just notice people are like really drunk and they're kind of like yelling at the bar, or a bit like
Mm.
demanding. They forget their pleasantries and forget how to act accordingly, and you kind of it is
You
what it
just
is.
have to
But
take it. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
It's this is something we talked about on the set as well, we were where we were just discussing how tough it can get, and ideally, you would want to stop it, and you would want to make things better. But the smartest thing to do, in my opinion, and this is pretty much what we discussed as well, was just to move on. Like, take it, right? You learn from it. Okay, you go through that experience, move on, and then you reflect on it. When that's done, when you're out of it, you can just reflect on it. Now the movie's done, or like my shift is over, you can reflect on it. Okay, this is what my experience was, this is what I did, and this is what I liked or did not like. And then you can just go, what can I do that it doesn't happen again?
mm,
And maybe you haven't done anything. Maybe you just got caught in the heat. But what can you, maybe next time you can not be in that environment, or like maybe next time we can prepare everyone in the environment to just handle something like that better. So it's a tough one, because you don't want to be a bystander, but at the same time you just have to get the shit done.
That's a way of saying it for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully the hospitality experiences for everyone watching and listening is pleasant and as rewarding as it was for both of us. Speaking of hospitality, I just have one story from Subway. When I was working at Subway, I think this is the thing that I really appreciate. Like when I was working at Subway, I just I was in uni, and I was like, I would ride my bike. It was in Canberra. It was like 10 minutes away from where I would sleep, and I was in the mall early morning, 7 a.m. You just rock up and you start the day. You set everything. You get ready, and the store opens at like 8 a.m. in the mall. Right, the food court opens at 8. And I do remember, like, I was the one who would open it on Sundays. And I remember, like, there was a couple who had this thing, like, this was their ritual. They would come to Subway every morning, and they were my first Subway.
That's actually really nice. Like,
they were like well dressed. They had showered. They had, like, they were ready. And this was their ritual to come to Canberra Center Subway 10 a.m. in the morning, and they would get themselves like a breakfast sub, and they would, there was no one else in the mall, and they would just have their sub, and it became like a thing. Like I would look forward to that on Sundays, like going to be like, let me make sure the guac is fresh. Let me make sure the eggs are all ready. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, did you like kind of like, not like, you wouldn't say you had a friendship, but like it's almost like a deeper connection. Like,
yes,
with those customers than any others. Like you kind of, I'm sure you talked a little bit more about like, oh, how's that new dog going, or something.
Yeah,
you have like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because like you get to a stage where you go, oh, welcome back, and then you introduce yourself, and then you get to a stage, okay, again the veggie sub, and they go yes, and then you go with the extra egg, and they go yes, you remember, and then I go yes, I do, and then you slowly move on to just the next level of just them, like it's just the appreciation of them going, okay, he remembers, and then I go, yeah, I appreciate you guys, thanks for coming early, and it's that's the good part of the hospitality, I would just say.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I just love that. And you have these like unknown people, and you have these connections with them. It's just pretty good. But yeah, moving on. That was in Canberra. Far out, man. Like that was in Canberra back in 2015, 2016. Where are we now? We're in 2021. That's like 6 years ago. Oh my!
It's almost 2022, man. We're like 2 months off.
Yeah, well, true. Speaking of the 2022, and speaking of the New Year's, what are your plans for the New Year's and the freedom that we're going to get after our uni is over?
Oh man,
are you traveling somewhere? Are you going to visit your parents?
I mean, both. This year was particularly like not tough, but definitely lonesome in terms of family time. So spending time with family is going to be something that I try and make more of next year. But yeah, dude, I'm really keen to go out and travel. And you might be thinking, oh yeah, of course, so keen to go to Italy or to go to Japan. And yeah, of course I am. But just because now we can travel internationally doesn't necessarily mean that we have to, because the other thing is, as well, we haven't really been able to even travel domestically. Those little day trips, to the Blue Mountains or to a little country town or something, things that we haven't experienced in a long time, and that I haven't either. So I'm kind of keen just for maybe that kind of travel as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I am stinging to get on a flight and go somewhere that's going to be culturally fresh to me.
Yeah.
But that costs money, man. That costs money I do not have at the moment. And there's plenty of this state and this country that I still need to see and experience before I'm
excited. I'm excited for the road trips, because I love driving. I just fucking love driving, man. Yeah. Oh,
I'd rather be in the driver's seat than in the
passenger. I do agree with that. Although I think it depends on the company. If I am with like good company, I don't mind being on the passenger side, and then just having full control over the tunes, and just talking and like just exploring, man. It's just so much fun.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Hello, Peter. We're back at it. This is a throwback to the first episode. Oh my god, man.
Huge throwback. But not just with the aux cord. I'm talking navigation. That is a massive responsibility of the passenger, and one that
the co-pilot.
Oh, I mean, where would you be without a good one? Like, okay, I'm interested to unpack that a little bit. Do you consider yourself a good co-pilot? How are you with map navigation?
I am the top tier co-pilot we've got out there. All right, I'm geographically sound. I know the directions, even if there's a moment.
The Christopher Columbus of SUV.
I know. Yes, I'm the Christopher Columbus of my group. I know the directions, even if we're in the mountains, and you get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't have the signal anymore. I don't know which direction I want to go. Then I can guide you. Okay, that's the east. We're heading east.
Oh, brother, I'm with
that
you
guy.
There. Yep,
I'm that guy.
Nice.
What about you?
I feel like I also identify as that guy. I know, big call, but I do feel like I have a very strong sense of direction, and I'm generally a very good navigator.
Trust me, I'm that guy.
Yeah, I know. I just like I don't know why. Like even though I never traveled much as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like my geography I'd say is like slightly above average. Like I'm not going to go out here and name every country, but like that is a good segment. We should do like a geography guessing game.
Dude, write it down.
Yeah, let's go write that down. But yeah, no, like certainly with just like your bearings, I find that's one thing that like you don't have to know, like what's the capital of this country, or you don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But just being able to know,
understanding,
being able to understand the like space around you and like what direction you're facing, that is so fucking helpful, because you don't even need to know where some place is exactly. You just know it's generally in that direction.
Yes.
Yep. Which is something that I find is a skill that actually isn't that common, and that lots of people
I found that too. Yeah,
don't have.
I agree.
Yeah. Like, it's just good to know, because like if you know a general direction, right? So like say when I'm out on my bike riding, or if I'm doing Uber, right, and I know, okay,
that's
let's
Uber
say
Eats for everyone. Yep.
Yeah. Let's say I'm in like Alexandria, right? Or I'm like around that area, and I'm like, okay, I need to get back home to Kingsford. I know what way to go. Like, even if I don't necessarily, like, maps will always be working, but let's say it's not. I know the kind of direction that I need to start heading back in. And same when you're driving, like, you kind of have an idea of just what lane you might need to be in, or like what direction you're heading. Like, it just helps.
It's really good to have a good co-pilot. Plus, it's good to be good at directions when you are the pilot, because you know that 700 meters later, I do want to take a left turn. There's no point in being a right lane right now.
Absolutely.
So I'm already thinking of that, and I think it's dude. Funny you mentioned Alexandria and like going back to Kingsford, because last night we went to Taco Bell.
Okay.
In Green Square.
Yeah, right.
Taco Bell, big love. That was a pretty good trip. We just went there because new Taco Bell has opened up, and we had time, so we just drove around and we found the Taco Bell. Didn't really buy anything big. Just tried some snacks from there. Good food. But anyways, when I was coming back from that area, because I've never really stayed anywhere near there, so it was Green Square, and I was like, you know what? First of all, I knew that it was at Green Square. The Taco Bell was at Green Square. So first of all, I made it to Taco Bell without any maps.
Let's go.
From where? We're looking from my home, actually. So from Rhodes to Green Square without any maps. And then next was going back home. So, you may think it's easy, but, it was dark by then. Sun had set. It was nighttime, and completely, we were in a whole different place. So I tried getting back home. I tried my best, and I made it from Green Square to Newtown, from Newtown to Marrickville, and I was like just moving closely. And I knew I had the sense of direction, but also, that moment when you're like, I don't really know if it's this way or this way, and that you may have fucked up.
Yeah. Especially when the road literally splits. You're like, oh,
yeah. You're like, I thought I was going that way, but this could be the game changer.
Well, the worst, dude, is when you need to go this direction, right? You need to go right, but it's actually the left road that like curves underneath and goes right.
Oh no way!
How many times have you been fucked up from that?
Yeah. Oh. But speaking of the traveling, we did have one of the things that we wrote down in the segments to talk, which was the bucket list. So can we just quickly go through the bucket list?
Yeah, absolutely. My bucket list.
Now that dude, okay. Before I start this, I just need to say this. Just the thought of imagining, just the thought of thinking that it's possible to go travel anywhere outside of Australia. Just to think you can sit on a plane and it's okay. I mean, obviously it's not okay. COVID is still a problem, but the things have opened up. It's just so insane to my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a shock. Definitely.
It's a new thing again. Yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be so surreal to be on a plane. If anyone has already done sort of travel, like has been on a plane since everything's happened, like let us know what that was like and where you went, because like it's just I can't imagine it actually. But my bucket list is like something that I think I need to work on a bit. But like, what would I say my main places are? One is kind of an area, a very big area that I haven't set foot in yet, which is I'll just say Asia generally. But I'd be specifically kind of keen to go to like Japan probably and like South Korea.
Yeah, let's just forget about India because who cares?
No, not who cares. Just I don't know. I guess I haven't had the time with a lot of countries to really, delve into it and appreciate why I'd want to go there. But anyway, those are just the two that came to mind. So
wait, you said Japan and Korea?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this is a very draft list at the moment, I would say.
This is not the final draft.
This is not the finalized document.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold your comments. Don't roast him yet.
But also, I think two big areas that I'd also like to go to, because I'm kind of one of those people that like I really dig the cold. Right, and I'm a big like kind of winter fan. Like, I actually haven't really traveled a lot in summer, or certainly not European summer. I'm always looking to go in winter, like around like Christmas time, and have that sort of experience, because you don't really get that too much in Australia. Like, we are really hot most of the time. No.
Okay. I mean, I've lived 5 years in Canberra. Canberra is generally the colder.
I feel like Canberra's pretty one-off though.
Yeah.
I would say generally speaking, it's a warmer country.
Mostly
although it's
warm.
A huge
I agree.
Right? It's a huge country. But I'm just saying, like, even with our winters, Canberra aside, Canberra as the outlying data point, we're not talking anything.
That's actually true, because like there's this one area of snowy mountains where you can get snow, and that's it. Like, I'm pretty sure there are other mountains like other states as well, but it's generally warm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So that being said, I'm keen to like go to Scandinavia. So we're talking like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and then kind of also I think they're called like the Baltic countries as well. Maybe like Estonia, Latvia. What's the other one called? It's like three of them.
Macedonia.
No, I don't think
Macedonia,
so. That's
Latvia. I don't know.
No.
Bulgaria.
Anyway, those sort of countries, and then also like I don't know. This might be a controversial take, and I'm keen to hear your opinion. But I have no real desire at this point in my life to travel to the United States.
Really?
Really, yeah.
What?
I don't really. I think it's. I don't have any. Actually, I really don't want to go to the United States. Like, I just.
Wait. What? So, are you mean generally, or do you mean just because it's COVID times?
No, I mean generally. Like, even pre-COVID, I had no real interest. I don't know, man. I've never
been
the kind of person
that's been
caught up in the Hollywood life, or even like obviously, there's like the US isn't just California, and it's not just like, but it's also not just New York. But like, I don't know, I've just never had an interest. Like for me, like there's just more interesting places in the world for me to go to, and that are more different from where I grew up than the States.
Yeah.
And that being said, I'd be really keen to go to Canada. Let's go.
What the hell?
I know.
No,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
interesting.
It's just
Interesting
weird
take.
Place. It is an interesting take. Let me know in the comments if this is my last episode.
Jared's cancelled.
Yep.
So just comment down below if you want to just type cancel Jared. We'll get the message.
But hey, your bucket list then.
Yeah, well, okay. My bucket list. I am stoked to go to like islands, man. I want to go to New Zealand. I've never been to New Zealand. New Zealand's close by. Let's go to New Zealand. Let's go to Fiji. Man. Let's go to like all the islands nearby. I think islands are like the one sort of like countries which are like forgotten about. Like unless it's like a massive party event, or like unless it's like a destination thing, people forget that islands are more than just tourist spots.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I want to
unpack that a little bit for me. So more than a destination spot, but a place to visit. So what does that mean? It means
what it means is you want to look at the communities that exist in Fiji. You want to look at the communities that exist in these islands. They're closer to nature. They don't have that many skyscrapers. They don't have trains just bustling down every 3 minutes or whatever, like you do in India or Sydney or whatever. You know, they have different priorities. Their system, their body functions in a different way. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
What is it like to live on an island, right? What is it like to just be by yourself, actually listen to yourself? You know, I'm getting into a little bit of spirituality or whatnot, but just that's what I mean. Like, it's not just about, oh, I'll have a villa, I'll have my own pool, I'll have my butler. You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest Bali thing that everyone was on.
That's another place that I've never been like
attracted
to go to. Not that I never would again. Like, same as like, look, I say I don't want to go to the States, but like if the opportunity presented itself, of course I'd go.
Yeah.
You know, and one day I will go. But like, I just think as far as the priority, like the list, the order, it's down the list for me.
Yeah, for me, I would say I'll just quickly go through the bucket list. I want to go to Iceland. Iceland is big up there. Also putting it out there for the viewers and the listeners, I am definitely the summer person. I hate the cold. I don't like it, and I don't know. I don't like the cold and the wet stuff. I'm more of the summers guy. I would rather just sweat it out. Anyways, yeah, definitely want to go to definitely want to go to China. Definitely want to go to China to visit the landscapes and just bloody man, the technology and like the advancement that they've made in their society is just fucking insane. Because my brother was in China just before COVID started, actually 2019, and he would send us these photos and videos, and it just blew my mind that, you know, we're not there yet, man. They're like 5 years ahead of everyone. The systems, the problem solving that they've done in technology is just insane, next level.
That's
the
crazy,
scale, and I'm big on North America, man. I just want to go to North America, like all the iconic places, and I want to go to the fast, just, you know, visit the fast life of NYC. And I don't know. I think now my perspective on travel has changed way more than how it was before. Before, it was so much more like the destination that I want to tick off, like everyone does.
Yeah.
Now the bucket list has become more of like, I don't know. It's become more about the experience. Like, rather than going to Machu Picchu because it's a wonder of the world.
Yeah.
I want to go there to meet the people, what the culture is like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. My thinking is that we're probably not there yet. Like, I think you know, and especially while you're young, you know, you have a lot of your life ahead of you, and you still want to like see the sights because, you know, they're there for a reason. But that's a good perspective to have, I think.
Maybe also because of my hot take, which is when I went to Paris, because I was in Paris when I went to Europe. This is back in 2016, and I went to Paris with a lot of expectation. Like Paris is going to be amazing, and whatnot. And I went to Eiffel Tower, and it was just not what it was. The expectation didn't live up to the experience. Like the experience didn't live up to the expectation. Sorry, my bad. And since then, I've just like realized that it's not about that. It's about just the experience of
1,000%, man. Yeah. And also like who you travel with as well makes a massive part in the experience. Like,
yeah, that's why we've never traveled together. But
thank you guys for listening. This has been the Second Unit Podcast episode.
I mean, that's our intro. We've got our intro, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Let's go.
It took us almost an hour, but we've got our intro.
Far out. There it is. No. Okay. Well, then I'm keen, man. I'm keen. You threw me under the bus, so I want to go back to you. You just mentioned Paris, but I want to know: is there anywhere that you know you don't want to travel to? Like, is there anywhere that's just like a place where you're like, I have no interest in going there for whatever reason?
Well, obvious answer would be North Korea. But I would probably say that's a cop-out. The one place which I've been to and I don't know if I want to go back again would probably be Paris. Yes.
Yep.
It's just...
Do you think so? Would you go back to France? But like go to like a different... Okay, yeah. So it's more the city itself than that's the issue.
It's just the city
not the
of
people
Paris.
or the...
No. It's I think it's just the in simple terms, Paris is just a glorified version of New Delhi. Okay, Paris is literally a glorified New Delhi.
If anyone wants to print that out on a T-shirt, we'll take a commission from that.
And people might get pissed off or whatever, but man, it's the same, and I don't like it. Not to say I don't like New Delhi. I fucking love New Delhi.
Right.
But I don't like the glorified version of New Delhi.
There could be an agenda here. I'm not quite sure.
All right, that's if you want to cancel me, just write Ken Kumar. We get the point.
Oh, let's put that in the chat. Let's get that trending. Let's go.
Hashtag cancel Kumar.
Yeah. So look, with the Eiffel Tower itself, right? Was it like? Because I haven't been to Paris or France, but like, was it? So was it like the scale wasn't what you thought it was, or was it just like the feeling that you had looking at it was just like what was it? I guess that like was disappointing or underwhelming.
Yeah, the feeling and the scale of it. Right. Like you watch these things in the pictures on Instagram, or like even back in the day, 2016, vlogs were a massive thing, right? Like everyone was vlogging, and you would watch these vlogs of travelers, going to Paris and just proposing or whatnot, like making it such a big thing. And it looked amazing on the vlogs, and like the storytelling that they did really sold me the idea of Eiffel Tower and Paris.
Yep.
And it just didn't live up to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because actually, now that you're saying that, like, you've just sprung something to mind for me, which was, again, hot take. But London, I don't know if you've been to London.
I have, yes.
You have, yeah. I felt similar to London in the sense that, like, I just felt it was a little bit, I don't know, not what I expected.
Overrated?
Yeah, overrated perhaps. Yeah, like I'm and that's the problem if you're going to places, I think, just to see the sights as that tick box thing. Yeah, and I think for me when I was there, it was definitely a lot about that, because like now I've been to London. I've seen Piccadilly Circus, I've seen the Tower Bridge, or I've seen the London Eye or whatever else. But like when I actually remember physically being there and seeing it and walking across the bridge, I was kind of like... It wasn't
anything like
it's a bridge,
out of
man.
The world. Yeah.
It's a bridge, yeah. Same with like Big Ben.
The Big Ben, yeah.
Like it's for me, Big Ben was totally covered with scaffolding when I was there. I couldn't even see it. Like it was fucking... I was like... Yeah. And also, and even if it wasn't, it's a clock. I don't know. I think you have to... I guess like you have to appreciate the history behind these landmarks maybe more, or like the places themselves, as you say, like that's what you're going there to do.
I'm just gonna throw a spanner in there, but just like the last point about London. I remember going to London, and I was with my Indian friend. His name is Saksham. Shout out Saksham, from ANU. He's in Delhi right now. Anyways, so we were in London, and we went to the museum, the London Museum, and they had the crown. And they had mentions of Kohinoor diamond in the crown, and the whole story behind it. And I saw all of that, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. This is this show. I'm experiencing this show. I see the story. I see the history, and I come out of the museum, and then there was this guard, the museum guard, who's like, apparently a character as well. But the museum guard was just like, talking to us like, okay, where are you guys from? Blah, blah, blah. And then somehow the other, the conversation moved on to us being Indian, and how even though, like, whatever, the conversation moved on to us being Indian. And then he just goes out of nowhere and just goes, so you guys think the Kohinoor diamond is yours, isn't it? You guys think we stole the Kohinoor diamond? And we just said, oh, I laughed it off, and I just said, yeah, but like, it's all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And he just, he just quickly turned, and he just said, no, it's ours. And I was like, what?
Right. What a weird experience.
I was like, what just happened?
All right.
I was like, okay, dude, this is probably like a 60, 70-year-old dude who's just like probably volunteering at the museum.
Yeah.
And just goes, it's ours. And I'm like, okay, you can have it. Like, it's not mine.
Yeah. I'm not here to steal it. Like, what am I going to do? Yeah. I'm just here to check out the freaking art, man. Like,
such a bizarre experience at the museum. But other than that, London feels like Sydney to me, really. London felt like pretty much just like Sydney. Yeah, just the crowd, the diversity,
Yep.
It was... but it was a fun experience going to Europe, and hanging out with your mates, and going to Tomorrowland, which is in Belgium. Just throwing it out there. I've had my days of raving.
Are they behind you now?
Yeah, they're behind me. Yeah,
okay.
Not that guy anymore. Trust me, I'm not that.
Trust me, you're not that guy, pal. Like, the places definitely, or the icons definitely don't make the places. I think that's case in point. Like, one place in particular that really solidifies that for me was when I was again doing on the same Europe trip, hitting like the big cities on the way, but then also stopping in at smaller places. And so we were visiting the Netherlands. This is myself and my housemate Nick, who's through that wall. Shout out Nick if you're watching. Myself and Nick were visiting the Netherlands. And rather than staying in Amsterdam because it was super expensive at the time, this is New Year's 2019. Wow, so just before COVID.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So rather than staying in Amsterdam, we stayed probably like an hour away by train in a city called Utrecht. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Could be wrong, but yeah, Utrecht. And we had like the best time. Like, I don't think, like, you probably never heard of that place before. Maybe you have, maybe not. Yeah, but like, it's just no major icons really. Like, a beautiful little city though. And like, what made it was just the experiences that we had together, and like the little places that we discovered in this like seemingly, just what's called unassuming, unpretentious place. Like we like. Yeah, it was just so much fun, and that's where like the best memories of the trip are from.
That's where the memories are made. Yes,
exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. Not from the big sites that I saw along the way. It was from this place.
From Utrecht. By the way, I still remember when I was in Amsterdam. The Amsterdam train station. I remember the exit sign at the Amsterdam train station. Just weird memory, but I still remember. And I think whatever the language they speak over there, is it Dutch? Yeah. So exit in Dutch, free trivia for everyone listening and watching if you're still here. Exit in Dutch is pronounced as uitgang. Thank you.
Is that all? Was that? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much. No.
No, but go ahead, man. Like, if you, I would just bookend it by saying, like, yeah, keen on traveling, keen on making memories, because that's what it's about. And I think 5 to 10 years down the line, this whole experience is going to be a memory as well, which we'll look back at thinking, those were the times, man. We'd hang out on Discord pretty much the whole fucking night, every night, just play games.
No matter where you are, like, I feel like the grass is always greener sometimes, and like looking back in hindsight, you often find the gems that you couldn't appreciate at the time. So yeah, and I mean, travel currently is one of them that we're really looking forward to. And yeah, I'm sure everyone watching, our runners are also looking forward to traveling. So shout out runners.
Well done.
Please let us know where you're really keen to travel to, as well, because like, fuck, the world's big, and we all, have so much to learn and experience. So,
Jared, quick one-word answer. If you could go somewhere right here, right now, no consequences, everything will be fine. One place, just quick one-word answer. No thinking.
Home.
Okay. Tari, nice. Good answer.
Where would you go? One word, one answer. Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know. For some reason, Perth is coming to my mind.
That's fine. Hey, tell you what, it was one word, one answer. You don't even have to justify it.
Yeah.
Perth just came to mind, and I think that's
it. Yeah.
That's epic. Yep.
Whatever came to your mind, listeners and viewers, put it down in the comment. And if nothing came to your mind, probably do something about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Read a book, man.
Yeah, fucking open up your fucking Google Maps or something.
Click I'm feeling lucky on Google. Just see what comes up.
But even that is, oh my god, bro. But would you like to say goodbyes? So.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you again, runners, for watching. I'm sticking to that, by the way. I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, we go. Yeah,
I bought it. Yes.
Jack has no say. Jack,
we can just like democratically just like kick him out of it. We can just go 2-1. We're keeping runners.
Exactly. It was a 2-1 no matter what. So thank you, runners, for watching. You were watching and listening to episode 7 of the Second Unit podcast. Who would have thought we'd make it this far? I feel like we say that every week and we keep being
keep making it further away. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we're plunging through this project, and we've got exciting things to come. We've got exciting guests that we're planning, and hopefully sooner rather than later, we might be doing this in the same room together in person, which would be so much fun. But until then, my name's Jared, and
I'm Kumar. If you enjoyed the podcast, please follow us on Spotify or wherever you're listening to us, and then like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And that's it from me, Jared.
Thanks, runners. Go get me a coffee.
On that note, catch you next time. See you later.
Peace. See ya.
Go get me a coffee.
I don't know where that came from. You'll cut that, right?
And that's where we cut it.
Thank you for listening.